Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Before we get started with the video, I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for being a part of my YouTube family. If you are new to my channel, I would like to say welcome. If you are a current subscriber, thank you for coming back to see what I'm up to today. I've had these wood rounds in my garage for a long time now. I've got a couple of different styles. The one on top is birch and the other one is from a maple tree. What I'm doing is pre-drilling some holes for screws because I don't want the wood to split. So I'm just making sure I go all the way through to the other side and then repeating that a little further down. What I want to achieve here is I want to screw both of these wood rounds together so they will stand up on their own. I'm using 3-inch screws because the birch piece is fairly thick and I want to make sure that I get all the way through to the maple round at the bottom and that it's really nice and tight. Next, I want to add a support piece on the top of the maple round because I'm going to be adding another slice of birch on top of the one that is on the bottom. If you haven't guessed it yet, I am making a wood snowman. Now that I have my support block screwed in, I'm going to pre-drill a couple of holes in the second birch piece so I can screw it onto the support block. Now I'm going to give him a coat of paint. I'm going very lightly with Rust-Oleum Linen White on it. I want the wood grain to show through, and it's easier to add more paint than take it away. So I want to make sure that I don't give him a full coat. I want all of that lovely texture to show through. Now I'm going to dress him up a little bit. I've got this buffalo plaid sheet that I found at the thrift store and I got it for $1.99. It's a queen size sheet. So I've just cut a strip of about 6 inches and I'm going to just make a hem using hot glue. This is going to become a scarf for my snowman. I went rummaging through my stash of fabric and I found this piece of faux fur. I thought this would be the perfect accent for the scarf, so I'm going to cut a strip and then just measure and cut on the end pieces of the scarf where it's going to be hanging down. I'm going to use hot glue to put it in place. No snowman would be complete without a little hat, so I went and cut a 15 by 15 inch approximately square of fabric from the buffalo plaid, and again I'm just using hot glue to make a hem. Then I'm going to add a couple of washers for his buttons. I added some faux fur trim to his little hat. I think he turned out just adorable. This next project is also using some of the birch bark that was around some of the wood rounds that I have. So birch bark tends to fall off of the wood once it's been cut really easily. So I was able to just pop these rounds off. I started with one in the center and then I trimmed the other ones. I actually just cut them in half. And now I'm just creating a wreath design by hot gluing the pieces together. When I'm gluing things together that need to set a little bit, I like to use these little plastic clamps. I got a big pack of them at the Home Depot. I'm using some of this boxwood greenery. They were $1.25 a stem at my local dollar store, and I'm going to take them outside and give them a really light coat of white spray paint. And what that does is actually make them look a little frosty and almost like the color of lamb's ear. If you've watched me make wreaths before, I always take apart the stems, but this time I'm going to leave them whole because I want more of a full look. I'm not going to be covering all of the birch bark with these branches. I'm just going to be doing sort of a halfway asymmetrical kind of look. As I was working on this, I thought I would want the floral stems to go in opposite directions, but I decided that I didn't like the one going in the opposite direction, so I'm actually just going to take my snips, trim him off where he's glued on, and then flip him around and make him go in the other direction. Having the floral stems go all in one direction around the wreath is a little more modern. It's what you see in a lot of high-end stores anymore. You don't really see the stems going in every which way direction. So I just wanted to stick with that look. The other thing I'm going to do is use some of these sticks that I have left over from a project in the summer, and I'm going to just add those in with some hot glue. These twig branches usually break fairly easily, but some of them, like this one, are a little thicker, so I had to use my snips to get it broken in half. So here comes the fun part. I've got these ping pong balls that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I'm using some kosher salt. And what I'm going to do is make these look like little snowballs. So I'm putting a good amount of kosher salt in a little plastic container. I'm going to use Weld Bond glue because this has more of a tacky texture to it, and it's better than using Mod Podge. The first thing I'm going to do is just melt a hole in the ping pong ball, and the only reason I'm doing that is so I can hang onto it. I've just stuck a little dowel in. You can use the end of a paintbrush, you can use a toothpick, but you would just need to make a smaller hole with your hot glue gun. Then I'm going to use a paintbrush and I'm going to put glue all over the ping pong ball. And then it's going into the kosher salt, and I'm going to make sure that I press it down really nicely and shake off any excess. Check it out. It looks just like a perfect little snowball with all those little ice crystals on it. To make sure that none of the salt falls off, I'm going to give each of these little snowballs a couple of good coats of hairspray and then let that dry. I am so excited about how this wreath turned out. I love the little snowballs. It looks beautiful hanging on my front door. I did add some jute twine to make it easier for hanging, and this wreath is going to take me through the rest of the winter season. Stay tuned to my channel. After Christmas, I'm going to show you how I decorate my front porch with winter decor. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, share my video, and don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. Thanks for watching.